Okay, in this second part of our series of videos, let's get started with some dog work and some lessons. Remember, with a puppy, try to keep it fairly short and simple when starting off. Let's start with a little simple heeling and setting. When you're training a dog to heel, the dog must pay attention. He must pace alongside you. Remember this: if you accept sloppy dog work, you'll get sloppy dog work, and the problems will continue to grow. Remember also, when you're teaching a dog, you're teaching him commands. You're not giving him requests. So when you give him a command, enforce that command, because it is just that, a command and not a request. Notice when I bump the puppy, he tries to stop. Just simply tug on the leash and start the pace again. If he repeats his reaction, you repeat your reaction. If he followed his commands, give him some play and free time. When starting off his retriever work, in the beginning, make it fun for him. You got to encourage the dog to want to bring it back. Remember this, that to a dog this is a toy, a new toy, and it's not natural for him to bring it to you. He wants to keep it and enjoy it, play with it, and have fun with it. That's where you have to pay special attention and try to keep the dog coming to you. Run. Get the dog to follow you until you can gently work the dummy away from him. Now it's been a week or so. Let's see how our pup is progressing. Notice how he's keeping better in pace with me. Teach him to sit and stay. Use your hand motion, pushing your hand forward towards the dog, encouraging him not to move, until giving the command to do so. Never hesitate to correct and discipline your dog if he doesn't obey your commands. Notice here how the young pup tries to disobey my commands and even run away. He has to be corrected and return to where the command was given. He knows what the command sit means, as he has obeyed it many times. He tries to defy the command. It is essential that you're consistent in your actions, as a dog learns from repetition and memory. Okay, let's get started with some pointing work. The wing on the fishing pole. The experts say that you shouldn't overdo it with this lesson, as it teaches the dog to sight point rather than scent. Wait till the dog is distracted and not looking directly at you. Pointing is simply a dog stalking the movement. He doesn't really know whether it's a bird, an animal, or what. Notice at first how our puppy tries to catch this wing. Notice now how our puppy locks up. He even begins to stalk, so carefully and cautiously. Okay, enough with this exercise. We're way on our way to pointing. Let's see how our pup is doing with some heeling, setting work. The use of a training table will help to teach your puppy whoa. The experts say that you take his collar, lift his head, and firm up his rear end, and keep repeating the command, whoa, whoa. And try to teach him to stand up straight and not move. Notice our young pup does not particularly care for this exercise and wants to continue to quit or give up. Like with any training, you have to continue to be consistent. Now we're going to practice retrieving the dummy, only with a check cord to put more control on our pup. Again, he's got something good, and he does not want to bring it to you. He wants to keep it for himself and play with it. The use of a check cord comes in handy here. Notice how with the use of a cord, I can reel the pup right in. Notice here how our pup just flat out lays down and tries to defy the exercise. Again, the use of a check cord is very handy. Once you've started making progress with the whoa command, give the dog the command, move out away from him, pushing your hand towards the dog as to indicate, whoa, stay, whoa. Keep continuing to back away. Make the dog stay until he's given a command to come on. Okay, let's try some multiple commands, like sit, whoa, come. You can see our pup's making progress. He understands what that command whoa means. He doesn't move until he's commanded to come. Okay, now we're going to start our force retriever training. Now this the pup ain't going to like. This ain't going to be no fun, but it's necessary for a good, consistent retriever. He has to be taught to hold the dummy until he's given a command to give. Never be in a hurry to release the dog. He has to be taught to control. A young dog is more apt to obey commands when he's in a closed environment. Get him out in the field and he gets wound up. Always remember this too, that when they enter into the adolescent stage, they're like teenage children. And they have their days like we all do. They have their days where it's like they forgot everything they've been taught, or at least so they try. This is where a lot of people get into trouble. You have to continue to make that dog obey and be consistent. You cannot give up or let that dog defeat you. You got two choices when training a dog. One, you'll either train the dog, or two, he'll train you. I apologize for a little blurriness in this part of the video, but autofocus sometimes gives you trouble. Notice here that the dog resents me removing the dummy. He uses his paw to flat out try to push my hand away. Notice in this part, I have to literally pry the dog's mouth open for him to receive his precious toy. And he consistently looks away from me rather than focus his attention on me. He's been given a command to fetch, but he's trying to be defiant. Don't accept this. Look, it's like he's forgot everything he's been taught. He hasn't forgot it. He just doesn't want to do it. You have to continue. You cannot let that dog control you in a situation. Okay, here we're getting back on track with our retriever training. Always remember to give your dog lots of praise when he obeys the commands properly that he's been taught. Now let's try a little scent retrieving. Start your dog off in light cover, eventually working your way to the heavy stuff where he has to totally rely on his nose. Okay, time has passed with lots of practice. Now we're going to work our way into the heavy stuff. In this cover, you cannot see the dummy and must totally rely on his nose to retrieve it. Here I approach the dog because the check cord is tangled. But never approach your dog to remove a dummy or bird. And notice how I return to the spot where I was standing and make the dog bring the dummy to me. I hope this segment has helped you, which is always my intent.